Welcome back to the Wise Mindset Guy podcast. I'm your host, Nat Plastino, and I thank you once again for tuning into my show. I notice now the Christmas holidays are rolling around the corner, and it reminds me of, the New Year's resolutions, which many people start to think about and then share with other people. You might hear people say, well, last year wasn't so great, but next year is going to be better as long as I follow these new ideas to the letter. However, it's been well documented that the majority of people will break those new promises and stick to their old agendas. I know I have done this myself many times. Why? Because people are not perfect, including myself, which my spouse would love to tell me about all the time. God bless her. We will make mistakes on a regular basis. Is this a terrible thing? Well, it all depends how you want to look at it. I think that mistakes and the failures that we often go through can, teach us valuable lessons. Those lessons can help us recognize where our flaws are and kind of learning to polish them out. This can then interrupt this vicious cycle that we go through on a regular basis. One thing that we do have to do is cut ties with our past. Well, when we do not take ownership with our past mistakes, we are making it very clear that those errors will keep happening over and over again. We then relive the past until it becomes a continuous cycle. This applies in our jobs, in our friendships, relationships. Focusing on change is the key, and that change requires, you guessed it, a choice. Human beings are changing all the time. It is the very existence of nature. So why do some people change for the better while others change for the worse? Sometimes we are sucked into the way that society works. And, just going with the flow of the herd, right? People eat what's popular. They dress like everyone else because it's very fashionable to do so. And we act like celebrities because it's just cool. So how about this? A radical idea. Be your own person. Change, it requires a lot of patience. So eating healthy for 1 week will not make you lose weight. Saving money for 1 month won't make you any richer financially. And practicing a new skill won't make you an instant master at it. The willpower to keep going forward on that new path will give those daily micro wins. Remember, it's all about 1% better every day. Now, finding the opportunity to test our patience so we can improve our habits will give us those micro wins. Stunning results can happen over time when we put the effort in one day at a time. You are the only person that can hold yourself accountable. Nobody's here to hold your hand. Do not look at it from the perspective of, it will take me 5 years to get in good physical shape or achieve the dream career. It is more of the journey than the destination. Life is, like a teaching tool. Life is sometimes, it's stacked against us. Some people do have more luck than others, I admit that. And so it is difficult to take ownership for our actions and make a change. We do need, unfortunately, to struggle uphill despite the burdens that life throws at us. It is about taking responsibility for that journey. It is easy to create fault by pointing fingers. We have to understand that for every finger we point at someone, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. However, if we need to understand that as soon as we blame external circumstances, then we play the victim. We are not victims. We control our own destiny. So using the past as a platform for greater possibility in the future depends greatly on recognizing your mistakes, learning from them, and then creating a better outcome. Your past is not your prison. It is not your story. Do not let your former self be your story. Let your former self serve you, and it can shape you into who you want to be. We grow the most through our difficult experiences. If we just had all joy in our lives without any heartbreak or difficulties, then we wouldn't learn anything. By learning what we did wrong, we can then craft a brilliant future. Every person or situation that has come into our existence has been put there for a reason, to teach us something. Whatever that challenge arises, whenever any challenges arise, we embrace it and make the better choice. Now, when it comes to making mistakes, in my own life, I have to go more inward to give a sense of reflection on everything that I do. It comes down to, what job careers I decided to go to, what friends I decided to bring into my life, what relationships I decided to bring into my life. Everything comes down to choice. I can look at many facets, when it comes to even my deciding to make this blog, this podcast that I run. It's all comes down to my choice. I can say, well, I'll do it next year. I'll do it in 6 months when I'm ready. But you're never going to be ready. You're never ever going to be truly ready to do anything unless you do it now. Because we are always afraid. We're always afraid that you're going to fail. It's never really a failure. The failure is not really what we think it is. We have to keep trying, because we'll never know if we were successful or not unless we try. So it comes down to, I don't know if my blog or my podcast will be successful. I don't know if it will pan out. Not a problem. I will keep going until I know I've made it or not. And if it doesn't work, great. I've learned a lesson. I've learned a valuable lesson, and I will keep going. That's the most important thing. And that lesson will make a difference, hopefully. So as we wrap up today's episode, I would ask you to do me a huge favor, and that is please rate and review the show. The more ratings and more positive ratings and reviews that I get, the more that this podcast can grow organically. And if you like this episode, please hit subscribe. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. That's all for today. I thank you and have a great day.